guys, welcome to the channel, and I'm sick again. So excuse my my voice and stuffiness. Yeah, I wasn't even like well for a whole week and a half before something else got me. So I'm trying to stock up on vitamins and fluids and all that stuff. So I'm trying my best. I really don't want to take off work or anything, but that's kind of why I've been delayed in getting this to you guys. Plus, I've been doing a lot of freelance work. I think I mentioned that in my last video. If you haven't seen my last video, it was the fish market for Sulani Sirens. If you haven't heard of Sulani Sirens, definitely check that out. It was a build collab, a world build collab that I did with a lot of my friends and amazing simmers. So it's a really good world save, and I highly recommend it. I'm not biased at all. Hope you guys in Europe are staying as cool as you can with that crazy heat wave you all have. I'm originally from Florida, so I'm no stranger to heat, but I understand that you guys are, used to cooler temperatures, and all of the buildings over there are much older, so I'm sure not everybody has air conditioning or things like that. So I hope you guys stay safe. I hope you guys stay cool, and you guys are definitely in my thoughts. And yeah, love you guys, my European friends. So how are you all liking Sulani? I was very surprised about mermaids. I didn't think I would like them that much, and they're beautiful. I love the interactions with the dolphins and how they can have human disguises. And I don't know, I really like mermaids, and I'm very surprised by that. And I love the world. The world is so gorgeous. It's probably my favorite world now. It's definitely taken the place of Windenburg. The only thing that I think Windenburg definitely wins out over Sulani is the fact that it just has more lots, and it has more variety of different types of lots that you can build on. I definitely need to explore the island more. I've only built on two or three lots now in Sulani, so I haven't really explored the island to the fullest. So there's that. But I do have some criticism for the game, but it doesn't break anything for me per se, just kind of things that I wish were better or different. So one thing I wish mermaids, I wish they had a power system or like a point system like vampires do. I really like how they implemented that in vampires, and you kind of felt like you were leveling up your powers, and you could choose what kind of vampire you wanted to be. And I don't really see that with mermaids. I don't really understand why they didn't really implement that for mermaids, because I would assume that it's pretty much the same thing. You would just change the interface a little bit. But I don't really know anything about game development, so I can't really add too much to that conversation. Where are the rest of the counters? EA, like, I was a little disappointed that the counters were not complete in this pack, but I think it was that way for Jungle Adventures 2, and then they patched them in, so I'm assuming that's what they'll do for this pack. And then a lot of the lots in this world are very residential heavy, I would say, which is, kind of cool because, island living, so you're supposed to be living on the island. But I do wish that there was a certain district or little area of the island that was more metropolitan, or like a small fishing town, kind of like how in Brindle Bay, where you have the dockside and there's a little street and little areas where you can put shops and restaurants and things like that. So I kind of wish there was something like that in Sulani as well, because it's kind of weird to put anything commercial in some of these lots because it just wouldn't make sense. So you kind of have to be very creative in how you portray some of these commercial lots when you build in Sulani, and which is fine, I guess. But I'm the type of builder that really enjoys trying to build realistically when I can, and I really like to make sure that the build kind of matches the environment it's in, just so it looks like it's part of it and it's more realistic that way. So it's been really difficult to think of more commercial type places for Sulani, which one could argue like, oh, you know, it's an island and it's not developed that much, so one could argue for that, I guess. But I don't know, I really like building commercial lots, probably more so than residential, surprisingly. I just feel like you can be a lot more creative with commercial lots because you're not really limited to a certain family, a certain sim, having 2.5 bedrooms, you know, making sure there's all the essentials to living. I don't know, I really love commercial lots for some reason. Another thing that I think wasn't really fleshed out all that much was the off-the-grid trait, and I'm also assuming with that it'll be developed more later. Maybe it was just kind of like a test or maybe like a trial run, I don't know. But the problem with the off-the-grid lot trait is that none of the lights work, and one would think that, you know, if the light looks like it's a candle, or maybe it's battery operated, or maybe include a generator of some kind, then, you know, that would have been great. But none of the lights work, I think, to my knowledge, and I feel like that would have been something good to include. But yeah, so I do have some other builds ready for you guys to record audio for. I've just been kind of building, and then I'm like, okay, I'll save Saturday to be my recording day because my husband goes to work and I don't have to deal with him like listening or you know, being here next to me, because we share a desk. It's one of those longer desks that can fit 2 people. So he often will sit next to me and he's like, are you gonna be done yet? And I'm like, listen, it takes time to you know, record audio and edit and all that stuff. And he usually plays games like next to me, so like, can you like type a little, you know, softer, like so that's another reason why I've been kind of behind. We can blame my husband. But yeah, I have 2 others. I have 2 other builds for Sulani, and then I started one last night that's in Del Sol Valley because honestly I kind of needed a break from the island, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have just been like getting island overload. Oh, another thing I noticed, that little floor tile, it's kind of glitchy, and I hope they fix that soon, because whenever I use that on a build, it doesn't matter like what floor, where it is, but I've noticed that if you have that on the lot, then your foundation kind of disappears. Because in this build in particular, I had the bathroom kind of like in an outhouse sort of thing. You'll see it later. but it's not attached to this main house, and the foundation for that little building was disappearing, and I thought I was going crazy, but then I saw on Twitter that it's been happening to a few other people, and there's a big theory that it's because of that glass floor tile. So just to let you guys know, and I'm sure the gurus are aware of that. But yeah, so this little house is, I mean, I don't know what to say about it really, other than it's very small, and it has kind of like an open floor plan, because houses in tropical climates tend to be very open, just to let the air pass through more easily. And I know I haven't done an object review yet, but I did get to look at all the objects with this build in particular. I tried to use as much as I could, and you know, I really enjoy a lot of the objects. Some of them I think are kind of a little bulky, and some of them I wish didn't have like the two different woods. I think you'll see it when we go into the bedroom, and I'll explain later when we get there. But I really love all the new plants, all the landscaping items, the doors, the windows. It was so beautiful. I really enjoyed a lot of the items that came with this pack. And I think a lot of it is very detailed. I like the texture on a lot of the items. So yeah, I really liked all these items. So this house was inspired by the sim that I made for it, and she's a mermaid, but she wasn't always a mermaid. She is a conservationist, so she's trying to, you know, do her best to save the island. I haven't really played with the conservationist career yet, and I honestly haven't played with mermaids all that much yet either, but I don't know, I kind of like the idea of a mermaid conservationist, and so she lives on the Lagoon side. This lot I'm naming Lagoon Lookout, and yeah, I think it turned out really cute, and it's very cozy and homey. I would love to live here, and it looks directly out into the lagoon, and I imagine that she's been in the lagoon for a long time. I don't know if you guys have seen it or not, probably, because everyone has shared it, I think, but somebody on Twitter, she made I'm not sure, they made a mermaid castle, like completely CC free, and it's absolutely gorgeous, and I was totally blown away by this build. And I thought about making this house a little more mermaid themed, but I was like, well, if she, you know, wants to be like disguised as a human, then she probably doesn't want to be too obvious that she's a mermaid. So a lot of her stuff in here is very like normal looking, I guess. So yeah, I just wanted to make it as cozy as possible. I don't know, I liked how it turned out, I think, and it is available on the gallery. Yeah, so the next Sulani build that I'm probably gonna post is a conservation and research facility, which I put on the volcano lot, because I was like, what am I gonna put on this volcano lot? Like, nobody's gonna want to live here. So so it is a generic lot. I wasn't sure what to set it as, because I don't think you can have labs that are functional outside of the get to work lab. So I don't know. So I just made it generic because it's just for fun mostly, and I'm sure it'll be good for storytelling. You can take your conservationist sim over there and work and do what they need to do to save the island. So that's what I built, that I'll probably post next. And then after that, I built a ice cream shop, I think I set it to be a cafe because, I mean, you could probably set it to be retail as well and just make a bunch of ice cream and put it in the into the case to be sold. You could probably do that too, and that's just on the little beach that's next to this lot. And then the third one in Delso Valley is a museum, and I was trying to renovate the Plum Bob Pictures Museum. So I was working on that last night, and I got the main structure and the first floor kind of done. I guess like 3/4 done on the first floor. Okay, so here, I wish the top was just like regular wood, like this one. I don't like the swirl on top, but that could just be a personal preference. So it's not really that big of a deal. I still think it's a nice dresser, and I'll probably still use it, but for my own taste, I like just, you know, for woods to be kind of uniform, I guess. But yeah, guys, I'm just gonna be cluttering up this little bungalow, adding some artwork and some more clutter, because you know I love that clutter. But I hope you enjoyed this build, and we'll be going into the screenshots now. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye!